Right. Oh, lost you. Oh, there you go. All right, episode 2 of Chats with Kev. Got my guy Justin Kenner, 1410 Wing AM, our sister station at Hot 1029. Now we were supposed to do this call about 30 minutes ago. Where the hell were you?
Well, I'm a man. I wear many hats. I'm a man of many hats. I was playing firefighter for a moment.
What?
I was waiting for your call, and all of a sudden I hear this lady start screaming next door, and I go out and I see flames coming out from over my fence. And I said, "Ma'am, are you okay?" And she said, "It's on fire. It's on fire." I could see that, so I ran next door, and she had called her son or whatever. She was an older lady. Her son comes over and was pissed that I was over there because I'm like, what are you about? He goes, "If you get her sick, you better not be." And the lady goes, "Listen, I'd rather die of the corona than burn to death. He came over here to put the fire out. Thank you very much." So there you go. I'm a hero.
Wow, you're a hero. A radio
Yep.
show host and a hero. So how are you and the family doing with this whole COVID-19 situation?
Not bad. I mean, my girlfriend and I, we live together. We're just by ourselves, and we're fortunate. We don't have kids to worry about. Our family all lives, 2 hours north, so it's not like we're in a situation where we have to be around them too much. They get mad because we didn't go home for Easter. It is what it is. I mean, we're all social people, but I'm still seeing enough people here and there that I'm not going too stir crazy.
Okay, but you guys have animals, and then when they broke the news about that tiger at the Brooklyn Zoo coming down with something, did y'all get nervous?
Trust. I mean, no, only because maybe just because I don't know all the details about how that works. Nora works at a vet clinic, and she's kind of a little bit more knowledgeable about how that is spread through animals. Bottom line is you would have to Nora would die before the animals would. She would not let us put the dogs down even if they were sick. She's that crazy. I'm telling you right now.
So you do a sports show on Wing AM for 3 hours a day. How the hell are you doing a sports talk show for 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, without any sports, any active sports?
Well, I thought about it because I thought that was going to be like a huge deal, but then I was like, as long as I've done sports talk, it's not like I sit there and do a lot of breaking down live games. The only thing that live games do for sports talk is there's storylines within the game that gives you extra talking points. Oh man, did you notice so-and-so didn't get X amount of playing time? Or man, have you noticed he hasn't been hitting his shots lately? Or man, he's not hitting the ball well. Those things develop from live games, but overall, sports it's an ongoing soap opera. There's always the drama involved in sports. I mean, you look at the Cleveland Browns and the drama with Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham Jr. In Cincinnati, it's not about the on the field stuff for the Bengals. It's about who are they going to draft. They're spending money on free agents and baseball. Well, can't talk baseball. There's no live games. Well, when you talk about a topic, that's the topic. So the fact that there's no games and there's never been anything that I can think of in my lifetime, I'm 30 years old. I never would have thought that we'd be at this point where we're going to be potentially missing pro baseball. The NFL is putting out plans I saw today about playing with partially full stadiums. College football might be kicking off in the spring of next year. There's so many things being bounced around that those are the storylines for the time being. Now in July, it might be a little interesting when we get to that point.
Yeah, man. I was just thinking to myself, we're all working from home instead of working in the building together. And, you don't have that camaraderie and we don't have our normal everyday talks about what the Buckeyes are doing or how Obi's doing, where he's going to go in the draft and everything like that. How do you feel like the whole world is being affected by the lack thereof sports?
Well, Dayton felt the immediate impact of it from a sports perspective. And of course, people right away, sports isn't that important. Well, that's kind of people's reality. People's reality at times is sports because they live and die by their sports teams. I mean, that's their escape from their everyday stresses at their everyday jobs. And, to have Dayton's best regular season ever, and they're ready to finally, put it to the test in the NCAA tournament and to have that just pulled out from underneath them at the last second. That was devastating for this area from a sports perspective. And I know people like to make light of sports right now in this situation, but it is a big deal. I mean, that's how we cope with everyday stresses, as I mentioned. And you take that away, it's like, okay, well, when you're stressed at work, you tune into sports to take your mind off of it. Well, when sports is taken away, then what do you do? But yeah, UD was definitely, and the fan base was impacted by that from a sports perspective. But I just think that there's so much more going on. I say this on my show all the time, that sports wasn't taken away to hurt us. It was taken away to protect us. It wasn't done to us. It was done for us. And I think that's the thing that people need to keep remembering is when they get frustrated, and I get frustrated at times. I'm pissed that we should be 18 games into the red season, and we should be talking about they should be their third or fourth time through the order right now or through the pitching rotation. We should be getting to see that great rotation. And that, I get frustrated not being able to talk about that. But that wasn't done to me. It was done for me. And now we're all going to be better and healthier and safer for it in the long run.
Absolutely. Now, I'm a little bit older than you, but there's a great documentary getting ready to come on ESPN starting on Sunday, The Last Dance, all about the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Phil Jackson, Dennis Rodman. What are you looking forward to learning the most about that? Because you didn't see Jordan play with the Bulls, right?
No, the Wizards, and as we've joked about that don't count. If you're when someone says, "Oh, you didn't get to grow up watching Michael," I got to watch Michael. I watched him with the Wizards. You didn't get to watch Michael Jordan. So, I love the behind the scenes stuff. And I saw that there was a couple, social media posts that Michael Jordan says that when this thing comes out, people aren't going to like him. They're going to realize he wasn't a good, not a bad person. He didn't treat people well. He didn't talk to people, with respect and all that stuff. That's what he's worried about. And I follow his son on Twitter. And he was saying that's the price you pay for being great and everything. But the problem is when you're great, you can act like that. If you're me, I can't talk to people like that and get away with it. So I'm just excited to see the behind-the-scenes stuff. And I'm like that with any team, even today's teams. 20 years from now when a LeBron documentary comes out, it's going to be fun for us who have watched LeBron his whole career. There's things that we haven't seen yet. There's people that watch Michael Jordan his whole career, like yourself. You're going to see new stuff that you didn't know was going on behind the scenes. You'll see new footage. So it's going to be a treat for everybody, and I'm really glad that they moved it up. I think they moved it up, from June?
Yeah, they were going to debut it around the NBA Finals, started before the NBA Finals and run it all the way through end of June and everything like that. But, they figured, hey, man, everybody's at home. Why not drop it? I heard they were saying they weren't going to do it at first because they didn't want to seem like they were capitalizing on people's misfortunes by airing it, knowing that everybody and their mom was going to watch it. Like my mom, she's a super football fanatic, but she's not really that much into basketball or like that unless it's the Cavs or whatever. And there's no reason to watch the Cavs currently, even if they were still playing. But, Michael Jordan, that'll get my mom to tune in. That's my aunt's going to be watching. My grandmother's going to be watching. It's Michael Jordan. It's a 10-hour Michael Jordan documentary, and people are going to eat it up. I think the biggest takeaway from the whole thing is, I think we talked about this before, that it's going to make people hunker down. It's going to make the Michael Jordan stans like myself and say, I told you, look at this. This is the definition of greatness. And then it's going to make the LeBron fans hunker down on their stand. I don't think it's going to bring everybody together into this one harmonious situation. I think people are going to stand on what they believe just because they're just going to hunker down in their beliefs. But my whole thing about it, man, we're going to have 10 hours of great entertainment. Because, the things that I'm reading about the documentary are just like mind-blowing, and we need something like this right about now. Like, this is going to help us get through. Like, every Sunday for 2 hours, we get to see, in my opinion, the greatest basketball player of all time. And like you said, behind the scenes, we're going to see the dysfunction of a basketball team and how great a coach Phil Jackson was to be able to bring them together and still win a championship, even though I know they were the favorites, but all odds were against them. Not only were there infighting amongst the players, infighting from the ownership to the management. So I can't wait to see stuff like this. I love documentaries for one, and a sports documentary about my favorite athlete of all time. I can't wait. I'm gonna eat it up.
Yeah, the second best player of all time, man. It's gonna be.
Yeah,
they haven't done a documentary on LeBron yet. You keep saying the best player. I'm like, they haven't done one on LeBron yet.
How can
that's gonna be eating him up, though?
Say what? Go ahead.
That's gonna be eating him up though, because they're not playing right now, and LeBron his window has shrunk as far as opportunities to win championships. He's not going to catch MJ as far as total titles. But if he can win a championship with the third team, are they going to make up for not winning 6? But that's going to be that. Like, I don't think that's ever been done. Has any player ever won a championship with 3 different teams?
Yeah, Robert Ory won with the Lakers.
No. I mean, like, he's a role player. I mean, like a star. Has a star ever won a
You asked me the question. I know this up here, baby, up here. I got it all locked up here, Robert. And don't be disrespecting Robert Ory. He hit some big time shots.
He's a hell of a role player. That's what his role was.
Yeah, gotta give him prop, man.
I didn't mean it like
players are valuable.
Who was there was another player too that played on the Spurs. Was it Posey was his last name? Who was that? Forget
it. James Posey played for the Celtics.
But maybe it wasn't James Posey. There was a player that
only won one chip with the Celtics.
Well, maybe that's not him. I'm thinking of someone else. If only we knew a sports radio host that knew his stuff, then we'd be able to have this conversation. The bottom line is,
what was his specialty?
What?
What was his specialty? The guy
I don't know, because the more I talk, the more dumb I'm going to look. So I can't remember. I shouldn't even have brought it up, so I knew the name. But bottom line is, like, LeBron's going to be sitting at home. He should be playing basketball right now. We should be getting to the start of the playoffs. In fact, today, the regular season should be wrapping up right now. In fact, today is I think 2003 was Michael Jordan's last game ever in the NBA with the Wizards. That was today back in 2003 was the date of MJ's last game. So we should be heading into the playoffs, and instead we don't even know when they're going to finish the regular season. And everyone's going to be talking MJ, and that's just going to fuel LeBron more, and he won't even have a chance to get out on the floor. This roster, it's older. This is their best chance to win a championship. Anthony Davis isn't promised to be a Laker next year. Keep that in mind too.
Yeah, but that's like the LeBron MO though. Like, he doesn't like playing with rookies and young players. He likes playing with veterans. But the problem with playing with veterans is veterans break down, veterans get old, veterans get hurt a lot quicker than younger players. And, that's the trade-off for having a veteran on your team. Like, they break down versus a rookie making, quote-unquote, rookie mistakes. Shoot, J.R. Smith was a veteran, and he was still making rookie mistakes. So,
everyone knows the famous one, too. The last mistake was his last mistake.
That face LeBron made. How can people stay in contact with you?
If you want to subject yourself to that, reach out on Twitter at 1410Kinner, KINNER. I host the Justin Kinner Show on 1410 Wing AM. Kev, also.
Yeah, I help out every once in a while. I help out a little bit, man. You say that, though, but, you're really doing the show solo. But, like, for the last basically 2 years, you had a co-host, right?
Yeah, Mark Schlemmer and I. The second I took over, look, I know that my name, not many people know who I was. I didn't want to just hit the ground running and everyone try to figure out who I am. Everyone know who Mark Schlemmer was. Mark Schlemmer did a fantastic show in the early 2010s, and he was off radio for about 6 years, and I just wanted to get him back on the air. His personality and mine, it meshed real well, and it didn't feel like we were doing the show. It just felt like two guys just kind of sitting around, shooting the stuff, and then just taking calls, having fun that way. There's so many different ways to do a sports talk show, and we did one of them. That's why I would say of all the ways to do it, we did one of them. But we had a blast, and you could tell just based on the callers and the interactions with listeners out on remotes. And, he retired. He's had some health complications, and I talk to him every other day pretty much. He's still, doing what he does, and he's still a smart ass, and he's still himself. But no, that was fun, and this is just a new adjustment. It's a different kind of show. It's a different feeling show. But again, we get people involved. We take calls, social media interaction, all that fun stuff. So tune in 3 to 6.
And you can call him a jackass on his Twitter anytime you want.
You cuss. That's good, because I cussed a couple times you had. I'm like, okay, I didn't know what. Hey
man, you say it on the air, so I can say it on the web.
There you go. That's a word. We can say that word, right? I've been spitting that out.
I said it yesterday.
I haven't heard anything. That's the beauty of having a show no one listens to.
Right. Well, the bosses ain't listening.
Never mind.
Yeah. Steer away from that. Hey, man, appreciate you coming on the show, man. Be on the lookout for episode 3. Justin Kenner right there, 3 to 6, Wing AM 1410. I jump on there, help out a little bit as well. It's Hot 102.9, Kev Nash. Peace. If I can stop this.